Learn how to use Google Charts to build highly customizable horizontal bar charts. In this lesson, we want to look at how you can create bar charts with Google Charts. When you want to, have a robust, reliable, and deeply configurable chart, Google Charts is an excellent tool. And unlike many new libraries, Google Charts run directly from Google Content servers and is packed with smart behavior. But there's one quick thing about that Google Charts, and it is how it names things. For example, a bar chart always draw horizontal bars. This is ideal when your category names are long and sit cleanly on the left side. And a column chart, on the other hand, draws vertical bar. If you need to build an horizontal chart, you load the visualization package, structure your data inside a specialized data table grid, and then let the Google engine handle the drawing. So let me just walk us through an example of how this actually looks in real life. So to use Google Charts, the first thing is that you need a CDN access, which is what I've loaded here in the head section of my boilerplate code. And also, this is an empty ID inside my space with a style, a width of 700 and height of 400, and an ID of my chart. So having done that, let's just move directly inside the script tag and let's begin to add our script code. The first thing to do is that you need to first load a Graph API from Google directly before you can use it to render any chart in your application or in your code. And the way you call the Google API, function Graph API, is just by calling google.chart.load. So this is not something that you make yourself. It is something that is already provided by Google. So you can just make use of it to reference it in your code. And see, packages. And even after this particular lesson, I might not, remove it and continue to just use it because it's not something that I am making. So it's something that Google provided. So let me just add it to my code. And once you have this, then you can call the google.chart.set on load. So you can see it's a function or set on load callback, and then passing the draw chart. So once you have this now it is now time to make the function itself. Function draw charts. And so inside this function, then you can begin to add things. The first thing is you need to set your data. So you can just make a variable and name it data, then call google.visualization dot array to data table, and then inside it, so for this example you can use any information, but in my own case we want to use country. I think this is country, right? Okay. And then you can have your corresponding MHL. So you can continue to now pass in your data. So let's say France, and then you pass numbers like this. Okay. For time, so let me just copy this. Since we want to add about 5 countries so that it can be faster. So let me just begin to change them. So now I have my data set. So once you are done with that, you can go ahead as well and set options. And to set options, Well, make a variable, call it options to mimic what we're trying to do here. And inside it, I just want to pass a title. And this title is going to be worldwide plastic consumption. Your own title could be anything. So this is what I'm setting as my own option. And once you complete this, then it's time to draw the chart itself. So how do you draw the chart? Well, make a variable and then call on the new uh, chart constructor. So that's the Google Dots visualization that we talked about earlier. And you want a bar chart. So inside this, pass in the document the get element by ID method in order to target the ID of what we have in our code. My chart. And then you can go ahead and then call on chart the variable dot draw where you want it to draw and then pass in your data as well as your option. And boom, we have a bar chart with Google Chart. You can see it's worldwide plastic consumption and you can see our data 0, 20, 40, 60, 80. So it's picking them like a range from what we already have in our code. So looking closely at what we have done right here, you can see that the way Google Chart draw bar chart is different. It's drawing is like like a bar in an horizontal position. So let's quickly look at a breakdown of our code. So the what we have here is basically telling Google to fetch the latest table release of the core chart package. So and once it does that, the core package contains basic chart engine like the bar, column, pie, and line chart. So once it's done, the set unload core back chart will happen underground since loading library over the internet takes a moment. So it's instead set it as a callback so that it can run underground as soon as the library finish loading. Google automatically run these functions that we have here. And look at this Google.visualization.array to data table. Google Chart expects a strictly formatted data structure, and the first array in the list defines the header which is the column name as the country, and also allow us to be able to add arrays, which happens to be our data rows that you can see here. Now look at these ones. You can see MHL 55, C England. So you can see the information on over on each of these bar. And finally, the new Google that we have here new Google dot visualization dot bar chart initiate an horizontal bar chart. If you wanted something vertical column instead, you will simply swap your name. So if you want this to be a vertical column instead of horizontal column, so this is what we just need to change. So you just change it here and say column chart, and then you can see it has changed the way it is rendering the chart. So this is how you can actually create either an horizontal or vertical bar chart with Google Charts in JavaScript.